Good morning, people of the internet. Welcome to another day in the life with the iPhone 15 Pro. So, for context, I've had it for a little over 2 months now, and in that period, I've experienced quite a bit. And I'll be showing you how it holds up in terms of battery life, camera, durability, plus so much more. I woke up around 8:20 this morning, and since it's the weekend, I've got a bunch of stuff lined up, from a few upgrades in the office, some in the living room. I got to do a bit of gardening as well, clean up my garage and courtyard. So tag along and let's go for the ride. First things first, we'll start off with watering the plants. By the way, what do you guys think about the 15 Pro cameras? If you'd ask me, they're quite up there, and in Apple's classic way, every year there's usually a slight tweak just to get you to upgrade, but that's quite subjective. And if you'd ask me, depending on your use case, an upgrade is not necessary. But we'll talk more about that a little later in the video. Take for example the addition of 2 extra focal lengths on the main camera. You could either have your default as the 24mm that most people are used to, or either get it to a tighter 28mm or even tighter at 35mm, which, if you'd ask me, a very good addition, especially from a creator's perspective. Here's a perfect example of me showcasing the different focal lengths when I try to capture the collard greens and lettuce. So there we go, first round of proceedings is done. I've watered all the plants in the living area and the kitchen. Now it's the home office, and that's why we're gonna go into detail about the camera. But before that, let's juice up the plants in the home office. To bring you up to speed from the outside, the camera layout looks more or less the same as what we've seen from the iPhone 11 Pro, with just a slight increase in the camera bump each year, although this time around I can't see any difference from the iPhone 14 Pro. By the way, 80% of this video was shot on the iPhone 15 Pro. That aside, I know the question you're about to ask yourself is, why am I even upgrading? Well, it's nothing significant compared to what I did in October, which, by the way, if you haven't watched, I'll leave a link up there and in the description box as well.
One of the perks of being a creator is you get a bunch of stuff sent out, and I'm grateful I get to experience that thanks to the love you guys share the channel through your views, likes and comments. Starting off with the nanolith elements, I always wanted to add some ambient lighting on the slot wall behind my desk, and when Nanolith reached out and offered to send me their nanolith elements, I straight away knew where they'd be going. After about an hour, I was done setting the map, and this was the perfect time to test the reduction in lens flares, and as you can see, the 15 Pro does a better job versus the 14 Pro and 13 Pro thanks to the nanoscale technology. Diving deeper into the camera, I've enjoyed being able to shoot high resolution photos with a 24mm, a tight 28mm and an even tighter 35mm, all thanks to the photonic engine that uses a 48 megapixel image to enable that without losing quality. Moving on to the next upgrade in the office, I also wanted to add more ambient lighting in the closet storage, and I opted to DIY these Scooby LED strips by attaching them to LED channels and covering with a light diffuser, just like I did on the back wall. By the way, it's a lot more cost effective than buying the ROP light. This took me another hour, and here's how the setup looks with all the focal lengths, and it's more or less like using a DSLR and switching different lenses, only that all the lenses are condensed into this tiny form factor, and it hasn't stopped there. Like pointed out earlier, I like how I can set a default focal length from the different lenses to suit my creative needs and take 24 megapixel photos, which by the way is now the default iPhone 15 Pro standard, up from the 12 megapixels of the previous Gen 14 Pro, but you can still set 12 megapixels as you did. Moving on to the final upgrade of the office, like mentioned earlier, Minimal Desk Setup also sent me a few desk accessories to try out, and having checked out some of their products before, quality and craftsmanship is second to none. Starting with the new cashmere desk pad in dark grey, this is pure class. It replaces my old desk pad, also from Minimal Desk, which I've had for almost 3 years. Since I also like productivity, I was thrilled when they also offered to send me this card and pencil tray, which works in tandem with the task and time cards. I know some of you may say, who still writes their to-do list on paper? And my answer to that is, nothing beats good old pen and paper. And then plus this essential oil humidifier at the corner of my Fiabo shelving unit. And since it comes to character at night, I wanted to show you guys how the 15 Pro has improved in low light scenarios. So I switched off the main lights and just left the ambient lights. And as you can see, there's a difference between the 15 Pro and 14 Pro. As for the portraits, focus and depth control have been the most exciting addition. This puts an end to the dilemma everyone's faced at some point, realizing your photos are out of focus just before you upload them. With the new portrait mode, you can adjust the focus of what you want the subject to be, eliminating the focus issues with so much ease. While on the subject of portraits, night mode portraits also look stunning thanks to the lighter scanner, and that is evident in this photo of my setup. You can see the detail of all the pieces in my setup together with the beautiful bokeh of the lights in the background. Moving along, I wanted to test out the telephoto and video elements while doing my living room upgrade using the nanolith lines. I just wanted a change, plus the nanolith lines look like a piece of art, and when darkness falls, that's when they come to life. Installing them was also straightforward, and it took me about half an hour to get them up and running. Having them on together with my other living room lights on a movie or game night makes for the perfect setting. Taking a telephoto of it, I'm still able to see the details when I zoom in, and putting the same photo side by side with the one I shot on my 14 Pro, you can see there's a lot more noise in the 14 Pro photo. When it comes to video, Apple continues to stay ahead of the pack, and that can clearly be seen in the quality of the 15 Pro's videos. And put that into context, Apple's scary fast event was entirely shot on the 15 Pro, which goes to show how good this camera is. To add to that, you can now shoot in log, which is basically a flat color profile, and then color grade it in post. This is what Apple meant when they said it creates possibilities of new workflows, since for you to shoot ProRes log, you'll have to plug in an SSD. Good thing the read and write speeds are quite fast, so you won't have to worry about input lag or transfer speeds.
The weather's changed quite drastically, but that aside, it can be quite the task trying to shoot in ProRes log with your SSD and holding it. Sometimes it falls off, so I find a workaround and attach the MagSafe ring at the back of my SSD. So it's a lot easier, just stick it at the back and I'm good to go. Moving on, it's about 1:33 p.m. and my phone is at 47%. So I'll juice it up, have a light snack since I'm not that hungry. Then I'll head into the office, do some reels, after which I'll jump into the garden, clean up my garage, and make sure the courtyard is clean as well. If you enjoy tech, design, and productivity content, snapshot of what I do on my YouTube are on Instagram and TikTok. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, follow me on Instagram here and on TikTok over here. Snack time is over. Time to jump in the office and do some reels, which I'll be dishing out in the course of this week, so be on the lookout for that. Just like that, I'm done with the reels, so be on the lookout. It's now time to jump on the tools, but before that, let's talk about performance.
After 2 months, I'd say for the first time, I can feel the difference in performance more so on the gaming front thanks to the new A17 Pro chip. Facilitated by the transistor technology, it's the first 3nm chip in the mobile phone world, and thanks to its 19 billion transistors, the performance, efficiency and phone features have all been improved, and that can clearly be seen through its ability to run AAA games like Resident Evil Village without heaving. Being the first 3nm chip, it comes with a new CPU and GPU, with the CPU featuring micro-architectural and design improvements for both performance and efficiency costs. The performance cores are now up to 10% faster, thus ensuring the fastest threaded performance on any platform, and you can see that in the overall efficiency and functionality of the phone.
Not even once have I experienced any lag between inputting a command and the phone executing it, and tell you what, I'm not surprised Apple claimed it can challenge some of the desktop PCs out there.
The efficiency cores also bumped up to 3 times the speed, and that explains why executing my typical day-to-day tasks like responding to messages, browsing the internet, setting reminders, etc. has been an absolute breeze. Well, on that same train of thought, the A17 Pro also saw the introduction of a USB controller that opens the possibilities of workflows never seen before on an iPhone, like recording 4K 60Hz ProRes video directly to an SSD with read and write speeds of up to 10 gigs per second, and it doesn't stop there. This can go up to 20 times faster with a USB cable that supports faster transfer speeds.
I wish Apple shipped the Pro models with USB cables that supported faster transfer speeds, as opposed to the 2.0 cables they sent with Pro models that have 3.0 USB ports.
Heading into the Korea, this would be the perfect segment to the 15 Pro's durability and build quality, putting in mind it easily gets exposed to elements like dust, falls and spills. For starters, the iPhone 15 Pro has an IP68 rating, meaning it's protected from dust getting inside and can withstand being submerged in water. As for the design, the internals are enclosed in grade 5 titanium that comes with a brush texture, and when combined with the infused backglass, it makes for a premium elegant design. Speaking of the infused backglass, the internal chassis architecture makes it repairable thanks to the new structural frame. With all that in mind, the temptation to go naked is very alluring, but if the drop test videos are anything to go by, having it suited up is always a safer option, and that's why I recommend always having a case on. Lucky for me, my collection is slowly building up, and my latest addition is this case from Pitaka, who sent it out together with the other accessories for me to test. I like its super slim and minimal design, which when attached to the already light 15 Pro, feels like nothing, and it doesn't stop there. The 3D textured grip ensures it doesn't slip while using the phone, and the raised metal lip at the back protects the delicate camera lenses. The fact that I enjoy wireless charging means my phone cases have to be MagSafe compatible, and this Pitaka case doesn't disappoint in that regard. I can wirelessly charge my phone without any fuss, and also use other MagSafe accessories like this ring, which serves different functions like a kickstand when consuming content on my phone, and that extra grip when using my phone vertically.
If you're keen to grab yourself one, use the link in the description for Black Friday discount.
When it comes to the overall hands-on experience, it's a lot lighter and the edges are softer compared to the previous Gen 14 Pro, and like mentioned not too long ago, a case like this doesn't add any significant weight.
So I've done quite a fair bit in the garden. All that's left is trimming the hedge, then we'll touch on the action button.
The action button has also been a much welcomed addition, and while there's a myriad of customizations you can make of it, I've got mine set to the camera for snapping quick photos, for instance this photo of my well-trimmed hedge.
So the hedge is finally done. Let's talk about the battery.
When it comes to the battery life, since the iOS 17.1 upgrade, I haven't had any overheating issues, and as expected, my battery health is still at 100% after 16 charge cycles. As for the battery life, it's listed as full day battery, but on most days by 4 PM, it always needs up juicing. That's obviously because of the use I subjected to. Compared to my 13 and 14 Pro, it's better than my 14 Pro but struggles to keep up with the 13 Pro. With the introduction of the A17 Pro chip, at the very least I expected the battery life to be better than all the previous gen models, because of the improvements and efficiency it offers, but Apple disappointed us in that regard. If they could someone fix it with a software update, that would be fantastic.
Since we just talked about the battery, I'm currently at 81%. It's 4:17 p.m. So basically what I set out for today is pretty much done. I gotta have a quick shower, kick back for a little bit, and that would be the best time to talk about gaming. Then we'll prepare dinner a little later. Finally, a time to sit down and relax. But before we talk about anything, how about this weather? I mean, classic Melbourne weather. One moment you can think it's about rain, next, all the rays of the sun are shining. Anyway, let's talk about gaming.
Over the years, mobile gaming on the iPhone has never got me ticking, and the most I could do with regards to gaming is scroll away some candies till I ran out of lives, but not anymore. I've enjoyed playing games like Resident Evil Village, and the fact that it's on the downgraded mobile version goes to show you how powerful the S17 Pro chip is. The one thing I don't enjoy is the screen controls, and that's why I prefer using a controller, but again, it gets a bit awkward using a controller as big as the iPhone out in public, and that's why I'd prefer something like the backbone controller, but since mine hasn't arrived, I'll contend with the DualSense Edge for now.
Gaming aside, it's now time to kick back, watch some TV, and get ideas from other creators. After kicking back for about 2 hours, it was time to give you guys my final thoughts, prep dinner, and call it a day.
After using the 15 Pro as my daily driver for a considerable amount of time, I come to appreciate how good this phone is, more so from a creator's perspective. From the ability to shoot ProRes log, additional focal length on the main camera, being able to adjust the focus on photos not shot in portrait mode, just to name but a few, the 15 Pro continues to push the creative boundaries, and how good these features can get remains to be a question of time. From the average consumer's lens, it's not a must-have, especially if you got a 14 Pro or even the 13 Pro, since your use case for the most part will be the usual phone tasks like responding to messages and calls, browsing the web, doom scrolling on your favorite socials, be it Twitter, Threads, Instagram or TikTok, then the occasional videos and photos as you go about your day. And say that ultimately the choice is yours. There you have it, folks. If you found this video helpful and enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. To see another review of my Apple devices, check out this video. Until then, people of the internet, I'm signing out. See you on the next one.